Hello and welcome back to WCBN sports coverage of Michigan men's soccer. We are coming live for the second half of your Michigan Wolverines against the Niagara Purple Eagles. I'm Jeremy Parks. Joining me on color this half is going to be Adam Broadnax. Dan Disler switched to our technical operations appointment, and he will be operating the Twitter account and our volume and audio. So we saw in the first half the Niagara Purple Eagles score. They have one shot to date, and it is a goal that has given them this 1-0 lead, courtesy of Alex Demetriou, who caught Evan Lauro off of his line and simply chipped it over his head about 10 minutes into the first half. And we're ready to get underway here in the second with Michigan looking to get it going here as they've been struggling to capitalize on opportunities created throughout the half.
And yes, Jeremy, definitely of the second half, of the first half was Michigan unable to finish on their opportunities in Niagara's third. But let's not take away from the great goalkeeping by Joel Gerberick, who was there many times, acting as the final defense for Niagara Purple Eagles line right there.
Second half, same lineups that we had entering halftime. It's going to leave Atua Hene for the Wolverines up top instead of TJ Van Sluten, who started the game. We're going to have a throw in as Niagara is going to gain possession off of the throw in. We are in Niagara's third at the moment. Battling for possession at midfield. It's back to James Murphy for the Wolverines. It's going to be worked back down the left-hand side. And we have Marcelo Borges working his way towards the box. He's going to be tripped up, and a foul is going to be called right outside of the white of the box. Foul's going to be on Niagara defender Brendan Koslow, I believe. No card shown by the referee, but the Wolverines with their what looks to be their best free kick opportunity of the game thus far.
And Michigan will again have another opportunity in Niagara's third and to see if they can finish and tie up the game right now. We are about 2 minutes in, and it looks like Borges will be lining up to take the free kick.
It's going to be Borges, Tyler Anderson, and can't quite tell who is on the other side there. There are 3 Wolverines behind the ball. Referee setting the Niagara line back a good 10 feet. It's going to be Borges to line up to come to the ball. Borges is going to take the kick. He bends it right off the bar from Marcelo Borges. Again, the Wolverines come close as the ball ricochets away, and it's kicked off by a Niagara defender out of bounds. However, a foul is called on the Wolverines. It'll be a Niagara free kick back by their own right-hand corner. But again, a wonderful free kick from Marcelo Borges ricochets off the bar, and the Wolverines are denied yet again.
Yes, another great free kick right off the top of the post there, and seems to be the story of the game so far for the Michigan Wolverines. They've been failed to finish and have the class to put the ball into the net.
Free kick's going to be taken by the Wolverines as possession is volleyed around, and it's going to be kicked out of bounds by Niagara defender Tim Magnuson. Ricochets off Michigan player. Magnuson will be the one to take the throw for Niagara. Battling for possession again in midfield. It's going to go back to Eckenrode. Eckenrode will play the ball up. Battling around again at midfield. Possession going back and forth at the moment. Collected by Billy Stevens. Stevens back to Nason. Nason back to Borges. Borges moving the ball up the left-hand side. He's looking for Murphy. Murphy's going to come around the side of the box, and he's going to whip it across. Just a little bit too lofted and over the goal.
Michigan continuing to press in Niagara's third. But again, just unable to put it right into the box to give a great opportunity for Michigan Wolverine to put in the back of the net.
Goalie Gerberick going to throw it out to his defenseman there. Ball moved up towards midfield. It's going to be a battle for the ball with Alex Demetriou, the goal scorer, and James Murphy. Murphy hassling him. It's going to go back to number 11, Tim Magnuson. Magnuson loses the ball over to Murphy. Murphy working his ball on the outside. And it's going to go back towards Riley Woods. Riley Woods battling for the ball in the corner. Uses some good footwork to get around. The ball comes back towards the outside of the box. Going to dump it back off over to Brett Nason. Nason back to Riley Woods, but a foul called on Niagara. Just outside the right corner of the box, it'll be another Michigan free kick from about 27. Play is blown dead again by the referee.
And Riley Woods continue to be the initiator of this Michigan attack, taking it again and again down the flank to create opportunities for the Michigan Wolverines.
Wood's going to be the one to take the free kick, a two-man wall standing in front of him, and 8 Michigan heads in the box. Corner's whipped in, just out of the reach of a diving head. I believe that was Murphy in the box. And the ball's going to be cleared out back towards Billy Stevens. Stevens going to play the ball up. Borges was there, however, a good header away by the Niagara defense.
And looks to be a call offsides there by Borges. Seemed to be leaking out just a little bit too early there.
Going to have to bend his run there just a little bit better and get around that line in time. Just a bit too direct. But again, the Wolverines coming out the aggressive side here in the second half.
They're continuing their first half story of having 8 goals that half, but unable to finish.
Ball's going to be played deep by Gerbrick. It's going to be picked up by Francis Atuahene. Atuahene working up the right side. He's got options headed towards the center of the box. Atuahene is going to clear himself in the center. Shot in, taken by Gerbrick. Atuahene with a bit of a spark plug play there, creating his own opportunity, shooting from just outside the 18, but right into the hands of a waiting Joel Gerbrick. The Wolverines have not looked that threatening on offense for a good while. Showing signs of promise here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. 39-10 left to play. Headed over at midfield towards Marcelo Borges. Borges going to play it up, but nobody home. A little bit of miscommunication as it's going to be a foot race back to the ball. Brennan Koslow hitting it back for Niagara. Possession won by Riley Woods. Woods working it up towards center. Ball's going to be just a bit of a hefty touch off of the foot of Colin McAtee, and it'll roll right back into the hands of Joel Gerbrick. Gerbrick will set it down, looking ready to take a nice punt on it. He'll send it back over the midfield line. Possession going to be jostled for, and it's going to fall right to the foot of the Niagara player, Ryan Myers. Myers kicks it out over to Omar Cruz. Omar Cruz going to battle over there with Billy Stevens. Ball goes out of bounds for a Michigan throw-in off the foot of Omar Cruz. Play down there by Brett Nason. Nason kicking out the ball up towards midfield, towards McAtee, but unable to maintain possession as Niagara does the same, kicking it right back into the Michigan third. Omar Cruz battling in midfield with possession. Ball goes back to Batista Petizert. Michigan wins possession, back to James Murphy. Murphy going to send the ball up through center to McAtee. McAtee's going to have space if he can make the ball. Oh, just out of the reach of McAtee as it rolls over the byline for a Niagara goal kick. Smart play there, though, from James Murphy looking for Colin McAtee, hoping that he could make something work if he could catch up to the ball. It was just hit a little bit too hard and out of the reach of his diving foot. Gerbrick's got it set in his box for a goal kick. Boots it up towards midfield. Kicked away by Billy Stevens as possession is jostled for around midfield again. Ball out off of Niagara as Billy Stevens here to take a throw for the Wolverines. Throw-in's going to be long and right into the chest of McAtee, who's going to get it back to Francis Atuahene. Atuahene back to Murphy as Murphy works it back to McAtee. Little pass off there. Atuahene going to have space on the outside of the box. He's working it on the byline. He's going to send it across, but not quite anyone home there. The Wolverines, and again, into the hands of Gerbrick, who's needed to be a little bit on his toes here in the start of the second half. He's been busy collecting just about everything the Wolverines hit his way.
Yeah, Atuahene with a very awkward look there, unable to put it into the middle and send it right there to Gerbrick.
Booted up guy Gerbrick. It's going to be headed away by Andre Morris. Marcelo Borges with a nice touch. He's going to win possession for himself there. But it's going to be a foul called on the Wolverines.
Looks to be on James Murphy. Pushed a Niagara defender out of the way to make way for Borges. Just pushing.
Bit of a joint tackle there between Tyler Anderson and James Murphy. That'll leave Niagara with a free kick right at midfield. It'll be taken by Brennan Koslow. Ball into the box. Going to be a collision there between the Niagara forward and Evan Lauro, but Lauro able to gather it in, and he's going to boot the ball away just outside of his own box. Ball headed deep into the Niagara final third, but that one's going to roll over their byline for a Niagara goal kick.
Yep, It looked like an accidental collision back there between Ryan Myers and Evan Laurel, and Ryan Myers showing good sportsmanship right there, patting him on the chest, saying that it was completely his bad.
No harm done. Gerbrick back to Koslow. Koslow back to Gerbrick, and Gerbrick's going to boot it away towards midfield. Be headed away there. Possession being jostled for at midfield. Going to be booted away by Andre Morris. Back to the center of midfield, where it'll be Bautista Petizert. And the ball will be booted in towards Evan Lauro, who takes it safely with his feet and kicks it back out to Lars Eckenrode. Eckenrode back to Lauro. Lauro weighing his options, decides to go back to Andre Morris. Morris over to Riley Woods. Woods is going to look for Borges on that left-hand side here, the near side to us. Been finding a lot of joy out there so far today. But the ball is cleared away there by Koslow. Niagara really taking it upon themselves to sit back in defense here and sort of absorb the blows that the Wolverines bring on them. Lars Eckenrode working the ball up towards midfield. A little bit of midfield build-up play here for the Wolverines, as Riley Woods will take it now again on the shady left-hand side. Sun is beating down here in Ann Arbor. It has touched over 90 degrees on the heat index, making sure all those players stay hydrated as Gerbrick takes the ball in his own box, picks it up, and gets ready to distribute back to his team. McAtee going to press him a little bit there, but not too heavily. And Gerbrick will take the boot over midfield. That'll be collected by Hector Solorio Villapando and played out of bounds by Andre Morris. It'll be a Niagara throw in the Michigan third. Giving way for the throw to Tim Magnuson. Magnuson will take the throw in towards Ryan Myers. Myers playing on the outside of the box there. And the ball goes out of bounds for a Michigan throw. Unable to control the ball there was Myers. It's going to be Riley Woods to take the throw for the Wolverines. Woods goes back to Andre Morris. Morris goes back to Lauro. Being pressured by Ryan Myers, but gets it away to Eckenrode. Coming down that right side towards the Michigan Ultras fan section is Lars Eckenrode. Heading towards midfield, weighing up his options. Going to head down the right line as the Wolverines have some good build-up play here. Ball is torn away by the Niagara defense, but caught again there. Ball played into the box, looking for Marcelo Borges, but the cross unable to find his foot as again, Joel Gerbrick comes in and carries that one away. That was Brett Nason on the cross into the box for the Wolverines. After some good build-up play there, got them the opportunity to get the ball in. Currently out of play for a Niagara throw with Matt Ferguson to take it for the Purple Eagles.
And already 13 minutes in, and Michigan continues to have these build-up plays, but lacking the class to finish. Seems to be the story of the game as Joel Gerbrick continues his stellar defense, the Niagara Purple Eagles.
And ball headed out by Michigan off the throw. It'll be Ferguson to throw in again for the Purple Eagles. Ferguson throws it in. Looking for number 9, Alex Demetriou, who was able to get around the corner. Played in the box. He was looking for Myers there. Ball's going to go back to Niagara again with a shot on goal, but missing and skirting past the byline for a Michigan goal kick. Evan Lauro gathering and bringing it back for the kick. He's going to take a quick one right back to Andre Morris, who boots it right back to Lauro in return. Lauro moving outside of his box now, kicks it over to Lars Eckenrode. Eckenrode working it up again. Over to Nason. Nason back to Andre Morris as the Wolverines work up towards midfield. Air through ball over to Marcelo Borges, but it's going to be over his head and out of play for a Niagara goal kick. The Wolverines seemingly doing that a lot today, trying to get the air through balls over that back line of Niagara defense, but just unable to find the right touch. Just a bit hefty on all of them. It's going to be Gerbrick taking the goal kick here again for Niagara. Weighs his options and sends it back out to midfield. Solorio Villapando for the Purple Falcons wins the free kick off of Riley Woods. or a throw-in off of Riley Woods. Taking the throw is Tim Magnuson. Magnuson back to Woods. Woods is going to head that one back out of play just past the midfield mark. Magnuson will just simply throw it in again. Weighing his options and throwing it in there again downfield. Off of Myers, Villapando looking for it, but can't get a hold of it. Or just got a touch and out off of a Niagara defender. Off of Bautista Petizer.
And after those jostling possessions between the two, let's see if the Michigan Wolverines can get anything going down in Niagara's third.
Woods threw in looking for McAtee, but unable to find him. Ball skied high off of the back of Magnuson for another Michigan throw. As Marcelo Borges looks to take it quickly to the foot of McAtee, who's going to work his way around outside the box. McAtee playing a little go fish there with the Niagara defender, going to get it around to Borges. Borges going to have an opportunity, but kicked away by Niagara for a Michigan corner kick.
Again, another little good pass and go there by McAtee that gave up to Borges to really create a good look. Just unfortunate that it couldn't get into the box.
Michigan coming on double digits in the corner kick column this afternoon. They've had plenty of opportunities, but haven't been able to convert. It's going to be Tyler Anderson to take the corner. A couple of bites rolling in. It's off the post. Off the inside post of the goal and out after the ball jostled around. Not quite sure who got a foot or a body on it. Michigan coming within centimeters of the equalizing goal off that corner. Looked almost as though it had crossed the line, but the referee waved it away. Ball played around for a little bit back into the hands of Joel Gerberick. Adam, walk us through what happened there.
Borges just seemed to send the corner right over into the center, into the box. It just seemed that it curved. Like I couldn't even see who had touched the ball there to get it into the net, but it barely hit the post and ricocheted back out.
Coming off the far post on the inside part, just unable to skirt in there for the Wolverines. It was an offsides on Niagara way down the field. Michigan taking the free kick. It's going to be Riley Woods up to Colin McAtee. Good sliding tackle there from Bennett Koslow. He's been stout in defense today for the Niagara Purple Eagles. But he's going to be whistled dead here for just a moment to allow for a substitution for the Wolverines. Coming on is going to be number 16, Ivo Cerda, the freshman defenseman out of Chile. And the throw is going to go right into Cerda. Cerda replacing Tyler Anderson, number 23. Anderson has played the entire game to this point.
And as you said earlier in the game, Jeremy, just that another microcosm of what has been Michigan Wolverines' story of the game. Unable to finish in the box with the opportunity there. Just this time it looked to be real unfortunate.
27 minutes to play here. Lars Eckenrode passing the ball up to Francis Atuahene. Atuahene is going to have some options as he moves forward. He's going to cut back towards the middle into James Murphy with a nice nutmeg pass. Murphy was looking for McAtee. McAtee and him not on the same page, though, as the ball is cleared away. Right back to the feet of Riley Woods, about 25 yards out. Woods is going to put it in just past the head of McAtee. What a cross into the box from Riley Woods, but again, the Wolverines unable to get ahead to it. And again, another equalizer goes flying by, and the Wolverines still falling behind to Niagara, 1-0.
Michigan Wolverines continue to knock in Niagara's third, and as you just said, Jeremy, the equalizers seem to fly right by once again.
And after the ball goes flying by McAtee, he's going to come off the field. Yaman Salul going to come back on here in the second half for the Wolverines. Saw some time in the first, and he's going to look to create some opportunities up top. Goal kick's going to be taken past midfield. Kicked away. Kicked away by Nason. And back to Gerberick. Gerberick will collect. Being tailed by Salul. He's just going to roll it right over to Koslow. Koslow is going to play it up the right-hand side. Looking for two of his attackers up the line, but headed away by Nason. There'll be a Niagara throw just past midfield. James Murphy giving a good hip check there to Fabrizio Chiari. Foul at midfield against Niagara on Francis Atuahene. Foul is going to be on number 14, Matt Ferguson. The Wolverines will have a free kick just past midfield. Quickly taken back to Murphy. Murphy was looking for Ivo Cerda, but could not find him. Ball away by Andre Morris. Morris back to Serta. Serta puts it in over the head of a jumping Niagara defender, but kicked away by Koslow. Good sliding tackle there from Nason to prevent the Niagara attack coming from across midfield. Hitting it away, Wolverines coming back up in attack. Ball is at the feet of James Murphy. Possession won back by Niagara. A diving kick backwards. It's going to be Myers coming up for Niagara. Dips it off to Villalpando. Villalpando is going to come up the center. He's going to pass it off. Just a bit heavy on the touch. He had Alex Dimitriou looking in on the left, and he had some open green in front of him, but just a bit too hard, and brings him out to the outside of the box. Ball's going to be crossed in well there, but possession squandered away as the Michigan defense will clear it upfield. Marcelo Borges working with it. Borges looking for what he wants to do. Comes across midfield. Going to tip it back over to Riley Woods, closer to the left-hand side. Woods going to cross it in, looking for Francis. Just caught by the diving head of Matt Ferguson. Ivo Cerdas on the far side of the box here for the Wolverines. Atu Ahene has some open space in the box. He's going to work it around, takes a kick, but well blocked there by Chiari. Headed back away towards midfield. Billy Stevens with the ball just past midfield for the Wolverines now. Back to Cerda. Ivo Cerda back to Billy Stevens. Cerda's going to come up the line, and he's going to get a nice little tap from Stevens there. Wolverines looking to swing across it. Ball's going to be jostled around into the box and away. A pair of sliding tackles come into each other as possession goes up midfield with Niagara. Alex Dimitriou coming upfield. He's going to be grabbed and spun around there by Lars Eckenrode. See if the referee cards him for that one. He's calling Eckenrode over. He's been relatively lenient today. He hasn't carded yet. It appears as though Eckenrode will get off with just a wig of the finger and a be careful. Still no cards shown in this game. Attribute that to the leniency of the refereeing here today. Niagara playing at midfield. Ferguson going to play it up to Villalpando. Coming around on the outside for Niagara, but kicked away by Andre Morris, and a good slide kick to clear it out to the side will leave Niagara with a throw near their corner. Coming on for Niagara now is going to be number 20, Sergio Lujan. And coming off is going to be number 12, Omar Cruz. Lujan started the game for the Purple Eagles today. Cruz has played to this point, but is now coming off. Look for Lujan to come up top for the Purple Eagles. Maybe create a bit of an offensive spark for them here as they've been sitting back defensively since scoring that goal early on in the first half.
Ooh, tangle over there with James Murphy and Lujan. Seem to be referees, the officials putting out a warning there towards James Murphy, but no card.
Some extracurricular activities, as Adam said. Perhaps a little bit of aggression on the part of the Wolverines as they've been struggling to score all afternoon. They've come oh so close on about 4 occasions, just failing to put the ball in for the equalizer. Loro took a kick up towards Atu Ahene, unable to keep possession. It'll be a Niagara throw near midfield, right in front of those Michigan Ultras. Lars Eckenrode going to head it forward. Niagara with possession now. Cleared away. Atu Ahene heads it over to Salul. Salul fighting for possession with Ferguson. There's going to be a foul right at midfield, and a yellow card is going to be shown to, I believe that's going to be number 21, Brett Nason. Adam, can you clarify? I think that was Nason who did get the card.
It was Nason who got the card.
And I'm trying to tell who is currently down directly on the midfield line on the far side from us for Niagara.
Yeah, it seemed Nason came in behind with a sliding kick and just uplifted the Niagara defender, and he is still on the ground.
Looks like a bit of tightness maybe up in the upper leg. It looks as though one of the other Niagara defensemen, Sapona Moa, came over and was pulling the leg around for him. Trying to tell who that is still, hasn't quite turned yet.
Seems to be a cramp there. Now he is...
Maybe got his foot stepped on, pulling up on the toes. It was Nason with the yellow card. It appears as though it's Batista Petizert who went down on the play, but he's still up. No substitutions. Ball's going to be cleared away towards Salul at midfield. Salul going to play it out to the side. Over to Marcelo Borges. Borges has some open green in front of him as he works up the left-hand side, cutting in towards the box. Nice cut over. Cross played in. He was looking for Salul, but Salul about 2 steps ahead of it. Niagara going to try and clear the ball, but Michigan attempting to maintain possession. That's going to go out off of the foot of Andre Morris for a Niagara throw just past midfield in Michigan's half. 21:33 left to play here in the second half at U of M Soccer Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's a hot night here, hot Sunday night. It's been a beautiful night for soccer, though. Michigan struggling to score. Niagara clinging to that 1-goal lead. Bit of confused, awkward defense there from the Wolverines as they give up possession in the box, but they're able to get it away, at least for a moment, as Riley Woods struggling to get it away. Now Nason gets it back to Murphy. Murphy going to kick it up the left-hand side towards Salul. Salul going to dump it back. Now the ball's back at Salul's feet. He's got some green in front of him. He's going to cut back, looking for somebody in the box, but he's got no friends home. Salul going to work it around to the outside now. He's working a one-man show. He finds himself some green. He's going to get across into the box. Headed away by Niagara. Good play by Salul to keep possession, though. Kick in, shot on goal, soft little liner into the hands of Gerberick.
And Michigan continues to follow the storyline of this game as they have created great opportunities and unable to finish in the box.
Got to push just a few more men forward, get a few more options in the box. Every time they get that open space, they struggle to find anybody to get it into. Possession being jostled for at midfield as it falls to Atuahene. Atuahene back to his freshman pal, Ivo Cerda. Cerda working it towards center field. Back over to Riley Woods. Woods over to Marcelo Borges on the left-hand side. Borges looking for a little bit of space. He's taken down, but apparently it was a play on the ball, according to the referee. Kind of taken down by Tim Magnuson there, but it appears as though the referee believes he was going for the ball. Throwing down the line towards Cerda. Cerda's going to cross it into the box, but a little bit outside. Possession still going. James Murphy with the ball. Get it back to Cerda. Salul goes down, and a foul called just outside the box again. Foul against Niagara. The ball's going to be placed about 20 yards out, just a few outside of the box, as Salul's still on the ground clutching his ankle. No card shown yet.
Conversations definitely between the officials and Kobe Sapaunamoa, but seems, as Jeremy had just said, there's no card given as Michigan will line up for the free kick.
I believe the foul will go against Chiari, the stout man for the Niagara team there, coming in at, I believe, something like 5'1", 5'4". Shortest man on the field. This is exactly where that free kick was looped in off the bar earlier. Looks as though Ivo Cerda might take it. Whistle blows. Cerda coming up to the ball. He takes the kick. He's going low. Gets it past the wall, but right back into the hands of Joel Gerberick. Wasted free kick again.
Definite chatter between Gerberick right there and Eckenrode, but seems to be sorted out and back to play.
Gerberick going to kick it up towards midfield. Bit of an awkward kick. Marcelo Borges is going to be able to head it over to Salul. Wolverines have a little bit of build-up play coming here. Borges finds himself a lot of open green on the outside of the box, looking to cross it in. He's going to do a little bit of work there. Cuts it back. Fools the Niagara defender. Beautiful cross in. Ivo Cerda off the post. Into the goal for the Wolverines. They would not be denied this time. Ivo Cerda with the header off of the cross in from beautiful Marcelo Borges. What a play for the Wolverines as they get the equalizer here. With 20 minutes to go in the second half, it's 1-1.
After 15 shots, Borges puts in a beautiful cross with a little trickery to fool out the Niagara defender and sends it right into Ivo Cerda, who puts it right back into the net, finally finishes.
Cerda was right on the penalty spot, hit that right off the inside part of the goal, but that one would not go out as Gerberick tried to get a hand to it, but it was already back in his own net. Michigan getting their equalizer at last. Play has started again, though. James Murphy working it at midfield. It'll be interesting to see how this Niagara team reacts. Michigan eager to push forward again. Ball's going to be out to Atuahene on the right-hand side. He's going to be tripped up, but the Wolverines will maintain possession for a moment. Atuahene still with the ball. He's going to be tripped up and a foul called. Nope, advantage play, waved on. Cerda's going to kick it back over to Nason. Nason back to Andre Morris. Morris going to kick it back on the outside to Eckenrode. Road going to play that ball in towards Salul. Promising, but coming in off of his line was the nifty goalkeeper Joel Gerbrick, who'd been clean up until just about a minute and a half ago. Ball's going to be headed forward by Andre Morris. It's going to go in towards Marcelo Borges, unable to control it, though, as Niagara kicks it back upfield. Going to be played away by Billy Stevens. Ivo Serta working for the ball there. Serta's got the ball. He's going to work it up the right-hand side, but the referee's going to bring the ball back after a foul call on James Murphy. It's going to be a free kick for Niagara just inside their own half of the field. They're going to work it up. Going to go outside to number 3, Kevin Garcia. It's going to be Magnuson working the ball into the box for Niagara. Awkward play there. They had an opportunity and some green in front of them. Chiari going to flick it in there. Ooh, and a good header from Niagara as Sergio Lujan unable to get a good head to it, and it goes wide of the Michigan goal. But a little bit of an uncomfortable moment for the Wolverines there, coming right off of the equalizer.
Michigan continuing to show their aggression and caught just off guard there.
Mounting an only a goal kick, though. Loro's going to kick it over to Riley Woods. Woods going to get it back over to Nason. Nason going to work it up that left-hand side. He was looking for Salul, but just a bit too long. Goes past the byline for a Niagara goal kick.
And Michigan here continuing to show their aggression to see if they can take the win and not settle for a draw here. And on the other side, we'll see how Niagara Purple Eagles respond to that goal.
Awkward goal kick, going to give Michigan possession. Billy Stevens coming up on the far side outside the box. He'll whip in another cross, headed away beautifully by the Niagara defense. Ball's going to fall back, though, to Nason. Kick back out towards center field. Myers, the attacker for Niagara on the outside. Going to kick the ball back to Billy Stevens. Nason working the ball on the outside. Riley Woods with the ball now inside Michigan's own half. He's going to kick it over to Ivo Serta. Serta with the equalizer for the Wolverines 3 minutes ago. Game is still tied 1-1 with 15:40 left here in the second half. Borges going to work it up for Salul, but a bit too long as the Niagara defense will be able to cut it out and kick it out for a Michigan throw near the corner.
Koslow showing good cutoff defense right there to force that throw.
Excuse me there. It'll be Tim Magnuson taking the throw for Niagara. Riley Woods heads it over. Back to Nason. Foul called. It'll be a Michigan free kick just past midfield. Michigan looking a little bit more energized after getting the equalizer at long last after 15 shots. Niagara still with just their singular shot on goal. Whipped in there by Riley Woods towards Francis Atuahene. He's going to get it down. That's going to be right inside the box for Salul. He's going to miss it. And it's going to be an offsides call on Salul. He had open green in the box, worked well around the defender, but was called offside. Still was unable to get the shot off either way.
A very close call right there. Game-changing call as it looks to be offsides, not going towards Michigan's way.
Gerbrick going to boot that one out past midfield. Headed over by Lars Eckenrode. Over to Nason. Nason going to play the ball out to the side, and it's going to go out for a Niagara throw. In on the throw for Niagara is going to be Koslow. Or I'm sorry, Ferguson. Ferguson very distinguishable by those bright neon pink cleats he's got down there. Some flashy feet. He's been good in defense today. Myers working the ball around for Niagara outside the box. Going to ricochet off of Myers' foot for a Michigan throw near their own corner.
And Myers continuing to have very good runs down the field, making opportunities there. Just Michigan Wolverine defense coming to the aid.
Substitution here for the Wolverines coming off is going to be Yaman Salul. Stepping in will be William Malors-Blair. He'll come back out towards the side. Trying to get some fresh legs in there is Coach Shaka Daly, trying to make something happen, get this go-ahead goal with 13 minutes to play here. A small but still excited Michigan Ultras section down there, hassling Ferguson as he takes the throw-in. Ivo Cerda going to boot the ball up the right-hand side, heading it back towards center. And headed back to Gerberick. Gerberick going to keep it at his feet, but decide to pick it up as William Malores Blair comes in to give him a little bit of a hassle. Gerberick going to boot that one back towards midfield. Headed by Nason, back over to Ivo Cerda. Wolverines with possession. He's going to get it up towards Marcelo Borges. Borges with a good touch, but just unable to keep the possession there. And it's going to roll back into the hands of Gerberick.
Looked to be expecting Mullis Blair in the box, but couldn't find him.
Pretty through ball there by Ivo Cerda, just unable to come under control for the Wolverines. Niagara pushing forward themselves now. Ball's with number 9, Alex Dimitriou. And they're going to fire a weak shot in towards Evan Lauro with some good hands. Lauro rolls it back out to Billy Stevens, who works it up back towards the right-hand side. Cuts it back towards Ivo Cerda. Cerda going to whip it in. Wolverines with an opportunity, but a handball called. William Malores Blair missed that one with his head, and it actually careened in towards Capitula. Just off the arm, says the referee, and Gerberick will take the free kick for Niagara just outside his own box. 11 minutes and 30 seconds left here. Game is tied at 1. Gerberick going to hit it deep. Michigan's going to gain possession. Capitula going to work it up near the center of the field on the right-hand side. Looking for his options. He's going to hit it in towards Atuahene. Atuahene just a little bit weak on that pass back to Capitula. Niagara able to regain possession. Niagara trying to pass it up, get a little bit fancy, but Michigan doing well at cutting out their passing lanes here. Oh, and a foul is going to be called on Andre Morris. You're going to call handball as he came in just past the Niagara midfielder. On the ground for Niagara is going to be number 9, Alex Dimitriou, who wanted a foul called for contact as opposed to the fact that Andre Morris touched the ball with his arm. They're actually going to send a medical staff out now for Dimitriou.
And yeah, back on that play, it looked at Andre Morris came in from behind his Alex Dimitriou, looked to box out, and Andre Morris just much taller than Dimitriou and looked to hit him with his forearm on the back of the head, and Dimitriou went straight down.
Dimitriou, the goal scorer for Niagara earlier in the game, he was the one that caught Evan Lauro off his line, was able to chip it over his head and in for the goal. The score remained 1-0 in favor of Niagara for the greater part of the first half, and here into the second half pretty deep until about 8 minutes ago. We got an equalizer from the Wolverines coming off of the head of Ivo Cerda off of a corner kick, or off of a well-placed cross by Marcelo Borges. Gonna have a short break here as Dimitriou is attended to. He's now back on his feet. He'll walk slowly off of the field. He was gripping his head. It'll be interesting to see if they let him stay on. I would think not, especially with worries about concussions these days. Appears to be okay to us, though, from up here in the booth.
Still seems to be a water break going on right now as the players get back on the field. Looks to be that Dimitriou will not be returning to the field as he'll be attended to, and I believe Omar Cruz just came back out.
Yep, Omar Cruz is back out onto the field, number 12 for Niagara. Came off earlier in the second half.
And he'll be replacing Dimitriou, who's had the only goal for the Niagara Purple Eagles.
Taking the free kick for Niagara will be Brennan Coslow, who has been out on the field the whole game and defended valiantly for them. Free kick ranges in, but the Wolverines get possession. Racing up the right-hand side is going to be Malores Blair, unable to maintain possession. He gets the ball, chasing him back towards center, and the ball is going to be pushed up by Niagara and able to be cut out by Andre Morris there in the box.
Sergio Lujan with a great run right there after catching the pass, putting major pressure on the Michigan defensive line.
Goal kick taken quickly. Back to Nason. Nason going to kick it out to Billy Stevens on the far right side. Nason going to get it back to Evo Serta, the equalizer for Michigan coming off of Serta's head. Riley Woods working it on the outside. Woods was looking for Atua Hene down the left-hand side near us. Atua Hene battling for possession. He turns around. He's got himself some green. He's going to do something interesting here. Little flick of the foot. Just a bit long there. Niagara clears it away, but right back to the feet of Riley Woods. Woods looking for options. He's going to get it back to Atua Hene, but a foul is going to be called on the far side. Ball going to be brought back now. Guessing it's a foul call against the Wolverines.
Looked to be offsides, I believe.
Perhaps an offside.
Hene offsides after he had made that
It'd
run.
be interesting.
Just sitting there.
Okay, they pushed the ball up a little bit further. They brought it back now, so yes, it was an offside on Atua Hene. Free kick's going to fall into the feet of Billy Stevens. Stevens up to Serta. Serta back to Capitula. Capitula back to Billy Stevens. They're working it up the right-hand side. Capitula coming towards center. Looks for Evo Serta. Capitula going to get it back out to Woods. Woods coming up the left-hand side nearest us. It's going to deflect off of Chiari and out for a Michigan throw. Woods trotting over to take it. He's looking for Atua Hene. Atua Hene backing into his defender. Does well to get possession. Kicks it over to Serta. Serta with a nice foot over. Maintains possession, playing around with it. Gets it back to Woods. A little bit of a loose pass. Michigan wants to maintain possession. They get it back to Andre Morris back in midfield. Morris going to boot it in back over towards Millers-Blair. Millers-Blair tried to get around his defender there, but a foul called. It's going to be a Michigan free kick foul on Matthew Ferguson. Michigan's going to have a free kick from about roughly 25 yards out.
Looks to be right outside the box there.
Michigan has had good luck getting some connection on these free kicks today. However, only one cross has found the back of the net. Cross coming off the foot of Marcelo Borges and off of the head of Evo Serta. Going to have a quick break here as the referee's going to have to push back the Niagara wall. Two-man wall for Niagara and everyone else in the box. That counts 9 Niagara heads and then the goalie, Gerberick. See what Michigan does here. They're going to whip it in. Ball falls down in the box. Possession is up for grabs. Going to be kicked back in by Nason. Everybody looking for a handball, but it won't go. McAtee finding the ball just at about the penalty spot, but looped in a soft tapper into the hands of Gerberick. Michigan fans were looking for a handball outside the box, but no call as play continues on here. 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the second half. Niagara with possession at midfield. Headed onwards towards Capitula. Capitula looking to put it in towards the center, but blocked away by Niagara defense. Ball's going to be given to Serta. Back to Capitula. It goes back to Nason. Nason out to William Millers-Blair, who's coming up the left-hand side now. He was looking for Atua Hene, but it was knocked away by the Niagara defense. Ball coming away on the outside for Billy Stevens now. Stevens tries to work it up, but gives away possession clumsily to Niagara as they try and boot it up, but it's off the feet of Stevens and out for a Niagara throw. 7 minutes to play here. Score is tied at 1. Niagara goal coming off of the foot of Alex Dimitriou back early in the first half. Michigan getting the equalizer late here in the second. Off of the head of Evo Serta, the freshman out of Chile. Ferguson to take the throw. Going to be deep. Myers able to get the throw and gains possession. He's got a little bit green in front of him. Working around the Michigan defense there. Going to kick it off to the outside to Villalpando. Villalpando working it on the outside. He's going to cross in, but nobody home there as the Wolverines. Andre Morris clumsily kicks it away for a Niagara corner.
And can Niagara seize the opportunity here as they have their first corner kick of the game? Michigan has seemingly kept them out of there.
Michigan not playing super defensively in the box. They're allowing a few heads to stay back. Millers-Blair out on the far side and Atua Hene here on the near side towards midfield. It's It's going to be Myers to take the free kick, or the goal, or the corner kick for the Purple Eagles. Lifts his arm and he's ready. Whips it into the box. It's going to miss all the heads and ricochet off of a few defenders and out. Referee's going to say that it went off of a Michigan body out past the far side of the goal for yet another goal kick, or another corner kick on the opposite side for Niagara. Looks like it's going to be Myers to take it again. Same number of heads in the box on both sides. I count 5 Niagara heads in the box, matching up with 6 Michigan defenders. Ball's going to be whipped in here, headed away by the Michigan defense. Headed back in, but good hands there by Loro. Loro's going to hold on to it and punt it away. Punt goes downfield. Battling for possession is William Malors-Blair. He's going to look like he's going to be able to get to the ball as he stops it up. And a goal kick. Michigan fans thinking it was bounced off of a Niagara defender. However, the sideline ref says goal kick.
And with just under 5 minutes remaining in the second half, let's see if either team can make some moves and finish on their opportunities that they create.
Gerbrick trying to get his troops downfield. Punts the ball away. Headed back by Villalpando. Niagara finding a little bit of joy down that left-hand side here late. Villalpando now has the ball himself as he tries to work away, but a good stop there by Billy Stevens. Just past the foot of Capitula. Villalpando back to Nason. Nason winning possession for the Wolverines. Kicked away by Riley Woods. Niagara in possession in their own half now. They boot it forward. Francis Atuahene coming in to prevent the long boot forward as it falls to the feet of Nason. Nason kicking it up the left-hand side, and that'll go out relatively deep for a Niagara throw. Going to be Magnuson to take it. Going to go past a slew of players from both sides as the ball's going to skirt away. Eckenrode going to have to run back and boot it back to Loro. Loro coming up with it. Loro going to get a little bit of a hassle and boot it away down past midfield. Malors-Blair trying to take it in there. Off of Malors-Blair, apparently. Looked as though it had gone off of Ferguson. However, it will be a Niagara throw. Sideline referees getting plenty of action here in the second half. Throw is going to be headed away by Nason. And Niagara will take up another throw downfield.
Both teams just looking to get it into either thirds. It's just both teams have been fighting back and forth, jostling for possession in these final 5-6 minutes.
Ferguson to take the throw again. Kicks it back. Possession going to be won by Eckenrode as he clears it away. Over to Capitula. Colin McAtee working it up the right-hand side. Possession going to be taken away by Ferguson. And McAtee unable to maintain possession down the line. It'll be a Niagara throw. Just under 2.5 minutes left here in the game. Score still 1-1. Michigan outshooting Niagara 17-4. 10 shots coming on goal for the Wolverines. 10 corner kicks as well. Stack that up against only 2 for Niagara. Michigan has been outgunning them all day, but has been unable to find the back of the net more than once. Possession for Lars Eckenrode. He's going to boot it up towards William Malors-Blair. And it'll be booted away. Niagara going to try and find some possession here at midfield. Ball booted over to Villalpando. Villalpando going to try and work up across center. But it's headed back to Riley Woods down this near-hand side. Woods looking for Atuahene, but the pass just a little bit long as Atuahene unable to run it down. Magnuson to take the throw for Niagara. Magnuson going to look for Villalpando. It's going to skirt away and headed out by Nason. Minute and a half to go here as Niagara will take a throw just inside of the Michigan half. Riley Woods going to head it over to Capitula. Capitula going to maintain possession. Francis Atuahene going to go. Michigan has 3-on-2. Make that 4-on-2. William Morris Blair looking for Capitula as it's cleared away off to the side by Niagara. Michigan still pushing, though. They are in the Niagara final third. They will have a throw. Mellors Blair to take the throw. 1 minute remaining. Mellors Blair going to give in a deep throw, looking for Colin McAtee. Doesn't come down. Mellors Blair going to get possession. That's going to skirt away. He's going to get it to Billy Stevens, who's got some room on the outside. Michigan still looking to create something near the Niagara box. Stevens in with a cross. Collected relatively easily there by Gerberick, who is, for all but one possession, been able to keep the Wolverines out of his own net. Gerberick doesn't know what he wants to do with it, and he's just going to punt it away with 20 seconds to go. Wolverines going to try and make a final push with possession here. Foul just past center field. They're going to have to take it quickly. Everybody trying to push up right now. Coach Chakadeli trying to push them forward. Every Michigan player coming past this ball. 16 seconds left. Evan Laurel is going to take the kick past midfield for the Wolverines. As the clock has stopped, as the referee gives instructions. Yellow card going to be given to Niagara player Chiari, supposedly for stopping the game. Let's set the set for you. 16 seconds to go. Evan Laurel taking the free kick past midfield. Laurel's going to whip it in. Looks as though he tried to find McAtee, but McAtee unable to keep it, and it's going to skirt out as 10 seconds count down. And a free kick will be wasted away by Niagara. 1 second to go, and that is going to do it for this one. The Wolverines pushed heavily all game, but were only able to find the back of the net once. Oh, looks as though we have a little bit of pushing and shoving here at midfield. The coach is coming in. We've got about 4 Niagara players pushing and shoving. The referee's coming to clear it out. A lot of emotions here.
Ivo Cerda getting in the face of Niagara defenders.
There was a little bit of pushing and shoving between Chiari and Cerda as the game ended. Coaches and referees coming in to break it up, though. The extracurricular activities have ended. As is this one in a tie. As we said, Michigan getting the equalizer late in the second half, but unable to go ahead. And this one will end 1-1. Adam, what did you see out there today from the Wolverines and from the Purple Eagles?
Well, it seemed to be the story that Michigan Wolverines were unable to finish in Niagara's third. And the other way around for Niagara is they had fewer opportunities, but they seemed to seize the ones that counted, as they were scored early on by Demetriou. And then back to Michigan is they failed to just finish and have the class to put it back in the net until later in the second half as Ivo Cerda got a beautiful cross in from Burgess.
Oh, we're going to have overtime. I'm totally sorry. We're getting heat stroke out here. We've neglected the fact that we're going to play an extra few minutes here after the end of regulation. I'm thinking about conference matches, but this being a non-conference match, we're going to play a little bit of extra time here. So we've got a 5-minute break. Our apologies, as we are going to go to extra time. It's been a long time since we've had soccer here in Ann Arbor. It's been a long time since I've been able to broadcast a soccer game, and that is showing here, as we've totally forgotten that we're going to play a little bit more.
And it appears to be as the sun beats down on the back of our legs, we just lose our ability to know the rules in Ann Arbor, as it is way hotter than most nights here in Ann Arbor. And again, once again, apologies there for wrapping up when we do have an additional overtime. And it appears it will be back in play between the two in about 3.5 minutes.
We thank those of you who just let us know that we had extra time to play. That completely slipped our minds, as has become very evident to you listening to us apologize profusely. But hey, we're happy we get some bonus soccer.
Yep. See if Michigan or the Niagara Purple Eagles can close out the game with a goal.
We're going to have 3 minutes here more in our break before we get underway again, and then a 10-minute period of extra time.
And
I believe it is 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Sudden death. So golden goal rules. First one to score will take home the win if they are able to.
And we can just talk about the great goalkeeping here by Joel Gerberick. He has been stellar the entire game, as 17 shots by Michigan coming in, outgunning completely, just adding the constant pressure. And Joel Gerberick has continued to protect the net. Besides that one possession from a beautiful cross by Burgess to Ivo Cerda. Other than that, Joel Gerberick has had a stellar game.
Michigan has almost found a hole through him several times. We had the free off the foot of Salul that went off the bar. We had the corner that ricocheted off the inside of the post. In those opportunities, Gerbrick's been able to handle his own pretty well. And again, the only mistake from Laura was well when he was caught off of his line early in the first half. And Demetriou was able to capitalize and score the only goal for Niagara.
Chaka Daly bringing the team out onto the field for a huddle. Possible adjustments here for the Michigan Wolverines as nothing has seemingly been working.
James Murphy down on the center line with one of the players for Niagara. Trying to tell who that is at the moment. He hasn't quite turned around yet. And that was Brennan Koslow, who's taken over the captain's band. A blasting of Viva La Vida here as Michigan looks to survive here in extra time. Perhaps take home a win. They've been pressing all game long, as we said. Shot count 17-4 in favor of the Wolverines, but they've been able to find the net just the once. That goal again coming off the head of Ivo Serva from the cross by Borges. Trying to tell if there's going to be any substitutions here. Looks like Salul's going to come back on for the Wolverines in attack.
And from the other night's game against West Virginia, Otto Ahene has had a relatively quiet game today. After having a hat trick against West Virginia, seemingly just finding the net at his command, unable to really make a huge impact tonight.
Players getting in their last little bit of instruction. 30 seconds left here in our break before we go into extra time. Sudden death. Known to many in the FIFA world as golden goal. Adam Broad next, my color partner. Familiar with the golden goal as am I, as he has beaten me many times. And we're going to have our first 10 minutes of extra time here. As we said, golden goal wins. If we are still scoreless at the end of the first 10, we'll have another short break for rehydration, and then we'll play 10 more minutes. Hail to the victors bellowing through the stands here as a solid turnout came today to support the Wolverines. I want to thank those of you who have stuck with us all afternoon through technical difficulties and other funny mishaps, as it is still early in the season. We're in our summer mindset. We just want to say again, thank you for tuning in. WCBN Sports is happy to be back for another year of Michigan sports. Check us out not only for soccer, but for sports all over the Michigan sports universes. We come live to you with football, soccer. We've got women's volleyball, field hockey. Pretty much any Michigan sport you want to listen to, we're going to be broadcasting for you this fall. So be sure to follow us. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Follow our YouTube channels, both WCBN Sports 1 and 2, as we are now in multiple places at once. And play has gotten underway here in sudden death. Michigan with possession early. Lars Eckenrode laying it down that far side again. Going to be pitched back to Andre Morris. Morris going to Riley Woods. Riley Woods looking for a good cross in. That's going to find Borges just a little long. Good idea there from Riley Woods to bring in the cross. Borges with a nice curling run in behind the Niagara defense. Just a bit hefty on the touch. Herbert going to boot it deep. It's going to find the foot of Villapondo for Niagara. Riley Woods battling for possession, as is Villapondo. Woods going to kick it back over to Andre Morris. Morris going to boot it down the line. Morris right in the thick of it right now, as is Riley Woods, as they continue to struggle to clear this one. It's going to go right off of the inside leg of Yaman Salul and off the Wolverines for a Niagara throw. Taking the throw for Niagara. It's going to be Magnuson. Magnuson in. Wolverines able to get possession as the ball's at the foot of Borges. Borges going to play it up, looking for Otto Ahene. And the ball is worked back towards midfield. Niagara going to boot that one out of bounds as they were looking for a cross. Michigan throw near the midfield line. Ball at the feet of Ivo Serda as he works back towards center. Serda going to kick it back to Riley Woods. Woods going to boot it over to Borges. Woods and Borges, the best buddies here on the near side today. And finding a lot of joy together. Borges trying to boot that one in. He was looking for a crossing in James Murphy, but blocked away and out of bounds for a Michigan throw. Riley Wood's going to toss this one into Andre Morris, who's going to boot it over to Billy Stevens, playing far up into the attacking zone. He's going to try and find Atuahene, but nobody there to meet the Atuahene cross in. Holding onto the ball right now is Gerberick, weighing his options. Booting it deep. Battle for possession there. It's going to fall to the feet of Alex Dimitriou.
And Alex Dimitriou checking back into the game for the overtime period after seemingly taking a bad hit to the back of the head. Seems to be no concussion here, and he just gets back on the field.
Dimitriou again was the goal scorer for Niagara in the first half. Ball being played around on the outside. Niagara tries to cross it in, but it's going to go out and over the line for a Michigan goal kick. 3 minutes played here in sudden death, the first part of sudden death. Relatively uneventful. Andre Morris has the ball at his feet now as he works forward. Into Nason. Nason back to Ivo Serta, the goal scorer for the Wolverines. Serta going to kick it back to Riley Woods. Woods back to Serta. Working on that shady side. Serta back to Nason. Nason over to Eckenrode. Eckenrode works it past midfield on the far side now. Into Billy Stevens, who makes a nice stop up. Retains possession, comes around the Niagara defender. He's going to find his way over into the box and a cross in, blocked away off the back of a Niagara defender. It's going to fall at the feet of Ivo Serta. He's going to cross in just past the far post. The shot by Ivo Serta, just wide. Michigan again missing by a matter of inches as Ivo Serta looked to make it a brace. But the score remains 1-1, and it'll be simply a Niagara goal kick. Gerberick going to nail this one deep. It's going to be a foul as the Niagara striker Myers goes down just past midfield. It'll be a free kick for them from there. Boy, what a opportunity for the Wolverines there. After the cross in was blocked back out to the outside of the box, it fell right to the feet of Ivo Serta, who tried to cross it left across the body of the goalie, who had nothing to do but watch it roll past his own post. Wolverines have possession now. It's at the feet of James Murphy. A little pushing and shoving there. Possession retained as it goes back towards Andre Morris. Morris going to hit it back towards Eckenrode. Eckenrode going to stop off, hit it back to Loro. Loro coming outside of the box so he can hit it back to Riley Woods. Woods has some open space in front of him, weighing his options. Defender Villapondo closing in. Woods works around him. Gets a nice through ball through. Marcelo Borges with some room on the outside now. And he's going to be able to just try and save it. But it's going to go out for a Niagara goal kick. Borges tried to play that one off of the foot of the Niagara defender, Koslow. But Koslow able to do well to jump over the ball and avoid the contact. And it results in a goal kick. Over halfway through sudden death here. Big opportunity for the Wolverines coming off the foot of Ivo Serta. Missing by a matter of inches just moments ago. Gerberick going to boot it deep. Eckenrode heads. Nice over-the-head kick there by James Murphy as he tries to find Salul, but Salul just too slow for that one as it falls back into the hands of Gerberick yet again. Riley Wood's going to head it away. And it's going to be off of his head for a Niagara throw as Magnuson comes to take the throw for Niagara. Right at midfield, the throw comes in, headed away by Nason. Contact made by Magnuson for a Michigan throw. Borges takes it. Ivo Serta has the ball. Some heavy contact there. Foul called against Niagara. Tugging on the jersey, a little bit of pulling on the inside as well. It'll be kicked behind by Nason to Andre Morris. Morris over to Eckenrode. Lars Eckenrode kicks it up the side to Billy Stevens. Billy Stevens with a nice little no-look pass over to Ivo Serta. He finds Francis Atuahene in front of goal. Atuahene working it in with a little flick. The offside flag was up, but he was looking for Yaman Salul. Nifty opportunity there. And that is the spark plug that Francis Atuahene looks to be for the Wolverines all season, creating nifty little plays like that. Riley Woods heads the ball away. Back to Marcelo Borges. Borges over to Nason. Nason going to find a rushing Billy Stevens, who's going to run up the far side. He's going to cut it over to Atuahene. Atuahene keeps the ball. Atuahene inside the box. Ball ripped away by Chiari and into the hands of Gerberich.
Atuahene with a great touch right there, just cut off by the Niagara defender.
Seems as though every 30 seconds we say Gerberich's got the ball in his hands. Such has been the case today with the Wolverines putting continued pressure on him. But he's proven to have stickier hands than a bank robber with syrup on him. Salul going to kick it off the defense and back. Headed through by James Murphy. Murphy's header is going to go past the byline for a goal kick for Niagara.
And as you just said, Jeremy, Joel Gerberich, once again, this time out for the goal kick.
This time it's at his feet, but nonetheless, he has been an active keeper in the net today for Niagara. And Gerberich's going to boot it upfield yet again. He'll be headed away by Andre Morris, over to the head of Ivo Cerda, who heads it over to Billy Stevens. Billy Stevens going to find Atuahene. Atuahene going to loop around, unable to maintain possession. Niagara with possession now, working it up the far side. Off the foot of Ferguson for a Michigan throw. Michigan tosses it in, looking for Atuahene off the throw, but possession squandered away as Niagara pushes up with Myers now. Myers trying to make a run. Myers trying to make a deep run. He's going to be taken down from behind, but a no call as it was all ball. Wonderful tackle there by Lars Eckenrode. Ivo Cerda going to work it up now. Coming down the left side, Marcelo Borges has some space. It's going to be 4 men coming forward for the Wolverines. Good move by Borges there to get around. Good cutback. He's going to work it in. Atuahene gets a head on it. Off the post. Into the net. Goal! Michigan score!
Offsides.
No!
Ball, offsides.
Oh! Oh! Man!
From what to be another beautiful cross by Borges. Unfortunately, officials
Oh!
look to be Atuahene offsides there.
I believe Atuahene might have been the one called offsides. It was 2 Wolverines who got their heads on the ball. That was a late hand up from the referee, but the flag was indeed up. Oh, the fans were ready to go here. Another squandered opportunity for the Wolverines.
Yeah, the ball ricocheted off the post, seeming to look to go into the goal.
My goodness. Count the number of balls that have traveled off the post for the Wolverines this afternoon. Michigan's going to have a throw. Riley Woods going to throw it back into Andre Morris. 25 seconds left to go here in the first extra time. It's going to be booted upfield by Evan Loro. Looking for Atuahene. Atuahene's going to let it play. And tries to find Salul. But it's going to be a Michigan corner kick as it bounces off of Niagara defender Kobe Saponamoa.
10 seconds
10
left.
seconds left. Michigan going to take a quick corner. It's looped in. Niagara's going to head it out. And that's going to do it for the first extra time. Excitement here. Bedlam at the U of M soccer stadium. After 20 seconds ago, we believed that Michigan had won the game only to be called offside as the ball squirted into the back of the net. But nonetheless, we're going to play another 10 minutes of extra time here. Still sudden death. We're going to have a 2-minute break before the Wolverines go back at it against the Niagara Purple Eagles. Adam, what did you see in that first extra time from the Wolverines?
Wolverines continuing to put pressure on the Niagara defense. And as Dan earlier who was earlier on the play-by-play, would have referenced the Patriots saying that bend don't break as the defense goes. And once again, the score is tied as we have a 2-minute break here in Ann Arbor. Michigan looking to score as the officials changed of what could have been the game-winning goal there by Atuahene.
What was sure to be the game winner to be called offside. You heard it at home. I was ready for it.
The entire stadium was ready for it. But just called the other way, unfortunately, and we're headed into the second overtime period.
Going to get a little bit more than 2 minutes here. Just the clock started a bit late, letting the players rehydrate here. This is why they call it the beautiful game. It's been an intense soccer match here between the Wolverines and the Niagara Purple Eagles.
Seems to be a roller coaster of emotions, definitely have to say, in this first overtime period. As
Oh, it's a roller coaster, and if it were a roller coaster, it would have to be the Top Thrill dragster of roller coasters, as I've been dragged all over the place today, up, down, left, right, and everything in between with these Wolverines. Eye of the Tiger playing over the speakers here at the U of M Soccer Stadium. Capacity of 2,200. They did pretty well on our side of the stands here today, pretty packed. Michigan Ultras, as students begin to get back to school here in Ann Arbor, looking a little light, but nonetheless as enthusiastic as ever.
heckling the Niagara Purple Eagles for sure throughout the game, showing great dedication as overtime period hit and the majority of the stands stayed. Want to finish out this game, see the result here in Ann Arbor.
And we are getting ready to get back underway here. Michigan's going to take the set at center field. We're going to have 10 more minutes. If it ends in a tie after this 10, the game will be a draw. First goal wins it, though. Michigan going to get it underway. Billy Stevens plays it into Ivo Serta at midfield. Serta going to fall down. Foul called on Niagara. That'll be against number 9 there, Alex Dimitriou, the goal scorer for Niagara.
Looks to be some words.
A little bit of a chest bump. Touching chins there with James Murphy in the battle of number 9s. And Andre Morris kicks it over. Possession being battled for on the sideline. It's going to be worked into the box by the Wolverines. Wolverines trying to find a little bit of space there. Salul went down in the box, but no call there. As Niagara able to clear the ball away back to Lars Eckenrode. Eckenrode over to Billy Stevens on our near side now as we have flipped sides. Tyler Anderson back in the game for the Wolverines. And get it back into Riley Woods. Riley Woods with a cross in. That's going to be ricocheted away and back to the feet of Francis Atuahene. Atuahene going to try and dive over. It's going to be a foul called there. Michigan's going to have a free kick from about 25.
Looks to be Dimitriou on the ground. Seemed to get knocked in the side by...
Took another knock. Dimitriou's taking a few today.
As Atuahene tried to clear him. Unfortunately, knees buckled and hit Dimitriou as he went to the ground, but he's back up. He seems to be okay. Hands on his knees, bent, getting a little breather.
Looks as though the Niagara striker Myers primed to come back into the game here. Riley Woods looking to take this one with that sweet left foot. Michigan towards the near side, near the media box. They've got 8 heads in the box. Whistle is blown. Woods is ready to take it. He's the only one behind the ball. Curls it in there. Michigan with the head on the ball. Goal! Goal!
James Murphy.
James Murphy with the header. And the Wolverines take it home.
Beautiful cross by Riley Woods into the box. 3 Wolverine heads there. James Murphy connects and sends it to the back of the net. Michigan Wolverines will go home with a win 2-1 over the Niagara Purple Eagles.
A left foot as sweet as honey from Riley Woods to head it home perfectly past the diving keeper Gerberick. The Wolverines leaving the Niagara Purple Eagles stunned.
And after a total of 20 shots, Michigan finally puts in the game winner to send them to end the game and to give them the win.
An absolute stunner here at the U of M Soccer Stadium in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines win their second in a row. They're looking to head to Maryland next week for a toughie against a highly rated Terrapins team, preseason rated to win the Big Ten. Niagara headed off into their own direction without a win thus far. Players are shaking hands down on the field. Adam, do you have any final thoughts on this Wolverines win here today?
Resilience seems to be the name of the game for the Michigan Wolverines as they came into both overtime periods without letting up after being re-energized by the beautiful header by Serta and finishing it out with another beautiful cross to James Murphy. And as Jeremy said, Riley Woods is sweet as honey left foot sent the Michigan Wolverines to the win.
Well, that is all we have for you this afternoon from Ann Arbor. We are going to join you again for the Wolverines' next home game. That's going to be next week. And I'm going to double check the time on that one. Wolverines aren't home again until September 16th against Detroit at 7:30. We'll be here for that call with you here on WCBN Sports. Until then, I'm Jeremy Parks alongside Adam Broadnax, Dan Disler, and Matthew Cox. We're going to leave you with a good night and a go blue.